We can see in the education world that the general way that we educate has been the same for the last century. It hasn't changed at all. But society has changed dramatically. Students nowadays are very different than students 100 years ago, and the needs of society are very different today than they were 100 years ago. So if everything has changed, why are we keeping education the same? And so we didn't want to do that, right? We didn't want to keep education the same for these kids who have already tried the regular education system and it didn't work for them. So instead of recreating a system that already failed them once, we knew it was time to change. And so we went to a project-based learning model that gives our students a hands-on, real-life approach to learning education. So instead of just doing worksheets and tests, which is the main focus in most of education, our kids are learning how to take the curriculum and actually apply it to life, learning how to work in teams, learning how to collaborate, learning how to disagree without fighting, but ultimately learning how to create a product that's meaningful together.
A lot of our students come here from very traditional school settings. A lot of them have fallen behind in those settings, and many haven't gone to school in a long time. They come here and they find that the school is very adaptable. It is very engaging. It is very fun. You learn physics by doing physics. And by the time students leave, they know that school can be purposeful, engaging, and that they can be successful in a school setting.
Project-based learning is more rigorous. It requires students to actually think about what they're learning, to synthesize the information, to actually apply it and put it into practice. It's not just doing a worksheet, it's learning biology through watching biology, through hatching chickens, through taking care of those chickens, through building the coops for the chickens. That's real life practice right there. It's not learning chemistry for the sake of memorizing the periodic table. None of us use the periodic table as adults. But the students are learning chemistry through planter boxes, through gardening. What does the soil need to be? What are the chemicals that have to be present for plants to actually grow? What are those things needed? And so students aren't just taking knowledge and regurgitating it, they're actually using it and applying it in a way that shows, yes, my kid is learning because he can show it through actual practice.
In project-based learning, I love the variety of ways that students can present their ideas. I have been teaching for 10 years, and so going from a traditional classroom to a project-based learning classroom, the ability for me to say, here is the end goal. Tell me how you want to get there. That is my favorite part about doing what I do. So as students are able to choose and represent their own ideas, I see their confidence in the classroom increase dramatically because it's something that maybe they didn't want to do before, but now they can put their own flair on it. So they're like, let me show you what I've got.
Physics is always the fun class, but the math is hard. So when kids are actually doing physics by building cardboard boats, and then having to float them in a pool and race them to see how long they float, what the displacement of water is. That's real life practice with physics, and I love it.
At the end of an 11 or 12-week term, students have to take all of that information, all those standards we learned, and condense them into a 90-second to 2-minute presentation of learning for parents and their peers. Take them and put them in a way that is going to be important for the rest of their life. So something that they can take that they learned in the classroom and take and communicate a little bit better or understand a little bit better out there in the real world when all of those skills that we learn here actually should matter.
So parents always want to know, okay, this sounds great, this looks awesome, my kid loves it, but is it gonna transfer back to a regular school when they come home? And the answer is yes. The data's out there and you can study that and look, but now we have enough years of practice that our own students who have left us and gone home are doing extremely well. They're reaching back, they're thriving in school, they are enjoying what they're doing, and some have even gone on to pursue college in areas that they learned about through project-based learning.
What I find most fulfilling about our school is so many students come in feeling dejected, not having great academic experiences. And by the time they leave here, they have such a transformative academic experience. They feel so much more self-efficacy and more empowered and more self-aware that they take to their next school, to their families, to their jobs, their careers, and have an opportunity to heal and thrive moving forward.